The Sun, which is considered the ruling planet of the Leo sign, moves from the 6th to the 7th astrological house of Leo at the beginning of this year. So, it moves from the sign of Capricorn to Aquarius, where it affects the astrological house responsible for relationships, marriage, but also for the successful writing of important documents. Right at the beginning of January, every Leo feels the retrograde Mercury still catching up in the 6th astrological house. This Mercury affects not only the 5th sign in the sequence, but also the entire zodiac. Not only the ruling planet Leo will be responsible for the changes that annual chart predicts. Leo forecast also works with planets in direct motion or in retrograde progress. The full moon, the new moon, the movement of Mercury, Venus, but also Mars, and last but not least the planet Saturn and other important planets of astrology, affect Leo energy in this year. They also affect Leo's mental attitude and how Leo decides on various things during this year. The Leo chart of this period will be divided into several categories, and you will learn the forecast for everything that interests you. A creative and passionate Leo thus gets to know a personal forecast for the whole year, thanks to which you can orient yourself, which will navigate you throughout the year. The horoscope for this year for the 5th sign Leo will initially focus on a brief overview of who Leo is and how the basic astrological aspects of the most important planets affect Leo throughout the year. In this overview, we will go over the astrological transits month by month, see how they affect Leo. The first 18 days of this year are specific to the energy of Mercury retrograde, which has been coming to Leo since 2022. Mercury retrograde is located in the 6th house of astrology, and combines Mercury's flexibility with the characteristic Leo's features. During the first 18 days of this year, Leo tends to impose his ideas on other people. You analyze and research more, the Cancer card of this period describes. On the one hand, this transit can be negative because you overwhelm others with your responsibilities. On the other hand, you are able to complete those tasks that caused you worry in the previous year. Karma related to past obligations that were unfulfilled comes to the fore in the Leo's life, describes the Leo annual forecast. If you want to alleviate this negative karma, it's time to finish things so that you don't have to go back to them. The positions of the astrological planets during the months of January, February and March indicate that the 7th, 8th and later also the Leo's 9th astrological house will be strongly occupied. For example, the 7th house is responsible for Leo's good relationships, and the Leo love forecast works mainly with this house and with the energies related to love and relationships. The position of the Sun in the 7th house from January 20th to February 18th is crucial for every Leo's relationship. It looks at relationships in general, assesses those of partners, but also relationships in a broader sense. Leo not only discovers his partner's soul, and love deepens in his household, but also focuses on building love for himself. A single Leo may now have trouble finding his own spiritual integrity. At this moment, the Leo relies heavily on the opinions of his partner. He focuses on what the partner wants and needs. Thus, Leo's interest is mainly focused on loved ones, less on himself. This attitude towards oneself is disrupted perhaps only by the full moon around the 5th of February, when every Leo identifies more deeply with their own identity. In the month of March, the planet Venus, as one of the most important astrological planets, moves from the 9th to the 10th house. It may happen that during this period the Leo will be attracted to travel, getting to know other people's lives, other cultures. If you are not planning to travel, or if you are not planning a vacation during the 3rd month of this year, it is advisable to relax with a good document or through a travel book. You will learn more about the world around you. Now you also emphasize philosophy and faith. Any faith in Leo is now strongly connected to his life. Students born under the sign of Leo are doing well now. I can look at things from a different perspective. Leo is again based on building self-confidence and on deepening his faith and opinions. This has a good effect on the mental health and balance of any Leo. However, Venus does not stay long in the 9th house during March, and already from the 16th of March it moves to the 10th house. The mentioned position of Venus strongly supports the career advancement of every Leo, and even the one who is looking for a job. It is very likely that you will succeed at work in March. From April 21st to May 15th, the entire zodiac will be affected by the second Mercury retrograde of this year. The forecast specifies that this second retrograde movement of the planet Mercury in this year will take place in the 10th astrological house in the case of Leo. Mercury in retrograde will therefore affect the work commitment, but also the work possibilities of this sign. Looking at the astrological chart, 𝙈𝙤𝙼𝙮 predicts that the first part of the year will be for Leo interesting. The Sun moves through the astrological houses that are responsible for the balance, work, and financial success of each Leo. 2. Retrograde Mercury, which is placed in Leo in the 10th astrological house, defines that you are trying to create a compromise between work, personal life, but also career advancement. The result of trying to accomplish a lot in a short time is a constant pursuit of perfection and an increase in self-confidence. You want to convince others that your work is perfect. Every Leo should now work on their own karma related to their work past. This Mercury can lead you to a sense of self-worth if you realize what things in your life have real value. The Leo chart of this period also looks at the second part of the year. In the month of July, the season of Leo begins, namely from July 23rd to August 23rd. Then every Leo celebrates his birthday, maybe in the month of July, another in the month of August. The Leo's season this year is specific to the movement of the planet Venus in the first astrological house. If you are preparing to celebrate this year's birthday, the horoscope and astrological chart predict that you will be overly concerned with how you look in the eyes of others. Especially the first phase of retrograde Venus, which you feel immediately after the arrival of the season of Leo, evokes the need for harmony and the desire for overall mental integrity. Contradictory vibrations appear in Leo's life, underlines the annual forecast Leo. The positive news from this Venus is that Leo is looking to the distant future, about which he feels very positively. Venus placed in this way can mean realistic self-acceptance, which is excellent news for the psychological well-being of Leo in this year. The described aspect of Venus lasts until September 4th. The months of October and November are strongly set for the functioning in the household. The Sun transits from the 3rd to the 4th house and later from the 4th to the 5th house. However, he spends the most time in the 4th house from October 23rd to November 22nd. In this period, the 4th house is also occupied by the planet Mercury, but also by the planet Mars. This position of astrological aspects connects Leo with the household and with the family. You focus more on your children, family, siblings, and parents. You feel safest in the arms of loved ones. You want to spend more time with your loved ones. October and November are extremely happy and balanced months when the Leo finds refuge and love in his home. At the end of this year, Mars enters the position of Leo's 5th house, where it remains until 2024. With Mars in the sign of Leo thus placed, you devote all your energy to social activities, but also to intimate pleasure with your partner, or to a new acquaintance with single Leos. However, this Mars can also create a desire for quick action in your relationship. Therefore, the annual prediction warns single people in particular not to rush into relationships that require gradual progress at the end of the year. The final month, December, is the month when the planet of love and finance, the planet Venus, passes through the 4th house and moves into the 5th house. All of December, however, is in the 4th house and in directive motion. It harmonizes all family relationships in the house in which it is currently located. The final quarter of this year is thus strongly oriented towards a domestic environment and a friendly atmosphere. In this introduction, the fortune teller 𝙈𝙤𝙼𝙮 introduced you to interesting astrological aspects of the whole year through the forecast. You will also find out what areas and what specific other astrological energies will affect your zodiac sign in the following lines. Therefore, read the entire Leo forecast and know your future this year. Negative energies that affect Leo this year. As Sybil already mentioned, in the opening days the planet Mercury moves retrograde towards the 6th astrological house of Leo. Leo perceives these movements as a period when he can be far from his goals, especially in the area of health and good lifestyle habits. Right at the beginning of the year, Leo wants to make a big commitment to improve his health, to focus more on keeping Leo vital throughout the year. However, this desire is blocked by inactive retrograde Mercury. All these desires take place in the Leo's mind, who has a sense of obligation towards himself, because he now wants to direct all things to his personal cosmic order. Although you desire to change a lot in your life during the early days of January, with the departure of retrograde Mercury in the 6th house, there is a time when you can take action. However, this period is blocked by the entry of the Sun into the 7th astrological house. Leo energy is 100% oriented towards personal relationships and improving love. Venus also moves through the 7th house during the month of January, so your personal family relationships are the focus of Leo's attention. You don't have much time left to focus on your goals for a healthier lifestyle or career. Another interesting, from one point of view rather unfavorable astrological aspect is Mars moving through the 12th house of Leo from March 25th to May 20th. Again, the Leo's subconscious urges him to focus strongly on things in which he feels reservations. Leo now becomes secretive. An otherwise very sociable person becomes an introvert. You don't need to make yourself or your efforts visible now. The negative influence of the vibrational field of Mars in the 12th house makes visible all the problems and addictions of every Leo. Therefore, this period can torment Leos who are facing some life addiction. All health problems that arise during this period, from March 25th to May 20th, will later be very difficult to treat. Therefore, you should try to grow more spiritually, and clean not only your karma, but also your chakras. If you are a Leo struggling with addictions, now you need to avoid these negative aspects of your personality. This negative aspect of the planet Mars is joined by the 2nd retrograde Mercury operating in the 10th house from April 21st. Mercury placed in this way predicts that Leo has a tendency to limit himself. You take too many responsibilities towards other people on your shoulders, and you think that you have to handle many things yourself. In this position of Mercury, you reflect on past successes and are able to learn from them, but on the other hand, they can push some Leos into depression. If negative results were related to your past, work or personal achievements, it is clear that this time retrograde Mercury will remind you again. This position of Mercury prevents self-expression, so it is not a good time to change jobs or to apply for a new job. The 2nd Mercury retrograde lasts from April 21st to May 15th. This period can be very disturbing for Leo. Even before the arrival of the Leo season, the Sun moves from the 11th to the 12th astrological house, where it operates until July 23rd, when the Leo season begins. The position of the Sun in the 12th astrological house is extremely complicated and can cause personal problems. It blocks Leo's intuition, and in this year it may mean the risk of a desire to escape from reality. Leo has trouble facing real problems or responsibilities. He prefers to focus his attention on other things that amuse and please him. Thus, it is likely that during this period you will neglect important duties that you will have to deal with later. The season of Leo is also associated with Venus in the 1st astrological house, which brings you many obligations and personal demands on yourself. From August 23rd to September 15th, retrograde Mercury is placed in the 2nd house. So, after the end of Leo season, you encounter this unflattering position of Mercury. Much of Leo's attention is focused on finances under the influence of this Mercury, but he also has trouble seeing importance in other areas of life. He is fully focused on raising funds and on how to improve his financial budget. You fixate very firmly on one problem from the past after another, unable to dissociate yourself from the negative feelings that this retrograde marker signifies. Problems arise in your thought processes. And for that reason, you can eliminate them not only thanks to healthy chakras, but also thanks to regular meditation. Forecast Leo not only describes astrological transits, but also provides advice on how to best manage negative aspects. The final 3 months of this year are loaded with favorable and beneficial astrological aspects. Perhaps only Venus at the end of this year, from December 29th to the beginning of 2024, can mean problems in Leo's personal relationships. Then Venus in this position causes a desire for something new, a desire for discovery. And this Venus can be a complicated position, especially for taken Leos, who can now fall under the spell of another person. Positive energies that affect Leo this year. The Leo chart indicates that your zodiac sign will have no problem identifying with its own identity this year. Leo's personal relationships also seem to be very strong, right at the beginning of this year, when important astrological aspects take place in the 7th astrological house. January will therefore enrich you with good relations with your loved ones. You improve the closest relationships, with your partner, lover or friends, but also relationships in a broader sense. The Sun moves from the 7th to the 8th house in February. Since February 18th, the Sun in the 8th house is a Leo connection with joint actions with a partner. Thanks to this, he gets to know more closely what his partner desires and wants. If you are a Leo who is single, the month of February can show you someone in a new light. It will be a friend with whom you have a lot in common. The astrological chart for this year also considers the month of March as favorable from the point of view of astrological aspects. This month, however, Leo's attention will be focused more on work achievements and progress in the work area. However, every Leo is also extremely curious now. He has a need to travel, to get to know foreign cultures, to be interested in other things than just the tiny space around him. You want to get out of your comfort zone and get to know people who have not been close to you before. You open your mind to the world, realizing how small humanity is compared to the entire universe. This position of astrological aspects taking place in the month of March makes Leo a more modest person who is aware of his own self. Even the full moon in the 3rd astrological house affecting from March 7th speaks of social events with your family, where you will have a good conversation and discuss important topics. And precisely from this point of view, the first quarter of this year is very favorable for Leo. Despite certain negative aspects that will take place in the following months of this year, Leo can draw on the positive positions of astrological planets, which will disrupt more negative energies. In this year, Leo also perceives the position of Venus in the 12th house, describes the Leo chart of this period. This position of Venus is generally considered negative even in the case of positive astrological aspects. However, from May 7th to June 5th, this position of Venus will cause Leo to be less withdrawn. It will not be harmful, because Leo will have space for meditation and thinking about his own life. However, the annual prediction recommends that you focus your energy more on the future. Avoid thinking about the past, because otherwise you may end up with the wrong people. The constellation that occurs near the planet Saturn and from June 17th to November 4th in the 8th astrological house means Leo's connection with other people. Saturn goes retrograde in the 8th house, where Leo can explore his satisfaction in intimate life. Women born under the sign of Leo should be careful, because Saturn placed this way can be responsible for some unpleasant sexual experiences. Therefore, it is necessary to avoid acquaintances that can be dangerous at first glance. A single Leo should now focus on building his own self-confidence, on exercise, but also on meditation. Postpone the date for another time. You identify more with your freedom, which can bring you joy despite the feelings of loneliness that come on some days. In the period from June 17th to November 4th, Leo also tries to identify with his past. And this is an excellent step if the Leo wants to find the desired happiness, satisfaction, and if he wants to come to terms with the past. According to the astrological chart, the final 3 months of this year, but also the month of September, are considered extremely favorable for every Leo. Not only the Sun settled in the 4th house and later moved to the 5th house, but also Venus, responsible for material gain, located in the second house, is responsible for this. Mars in the fourth house gives Leo a feeling of connection with the home environment. In the same way, the Sun in this position brings harmony to the home, a sense of security for every Leo. Security is what Leo is looking for all the time. Therefore, the annual prediction describes these beneficial astrological transits as the most favorable months of the year. Not only the beginning of the year will be happy for you. Even its conclusion will bring many smiles, joy and satisfaction from completed tasks and duties. Although there are still some warnings at the end of this year, specifically from December 29th, can end very happily and auspiciously for Leo. Leo forecast for love and relationships. The path to harmonious relationships and satisfaction from family life leads this year through the months of January, February, and March. Later, love is strong through the final months of this year. When the Sun moves from the 6th to the 7th house, every Leo feels that he should have his focus attention on those closest to you. The month of January seems to be the most favorable for Leo from the point of view of love relationships and long-lasting partnerships. However, your situation in love can change from day to day, especially in the middle of this year. It is for this reason that Leo must constantly work on good relationships, keep his attention towards his partner constantly in tension. The second and third quarters of this year are quite challenging from the point of view of Leo's love and relationships. But let's look at the first and last quarter of the year, which means the strongest and most loving energies of this year. Forecast assesses January, February, and March as the strongest months for building deeper partner relationships, Leo. Thanks to the beneficial position of the ruling planet, the Sun, but also thanks to the very favorable position of Mercury, Leo identifies not only with himself. Venus in the 9th astrological house even tells Leo that it might be the right time to travel abroad with your partner, to enjoy the moments spent together and alone. Anyway, these initial 3 months of the year give Leo a huge hope for strengthening the relationship. Forecast predicts for each given Leo a lot of vital energy and strength for this period to overcome any problems in the relationship. Even if relationships may have been broken in the past in your life and you want to heal them, you can work on them now. You will not lack power from the planet Mars, you will not lack combativeness from Venus. The Sun, on the other hand, gives you a lot of intuition that guides you through the right decisions. Your relationship may even enter the public eye, or it may penetrate deeper into your household. Under the influence of this position of the Sun in the 7th house from January 20th to February 18th, you perceive your partner as something more. You don't just look at him as an object of your desire, but you also find in him a friend, or even a business partner. This Sun position is strongly focused on finding a sense of balance. Stability in your relationships, which can only be found by actively working to improve your long-term partnership. Some Leos will self-realize through their partner, others will look for a friend and confidant in their partner. You identify more with both spiritual and sexual identity in your relationship. You deepen your consciousness, which you identify with the consciousness of your partner. Karmically speaking, this position of the Sun is extremely favorable for any Leo who perceives the ruling planet in the 7th astrological house as an opportunity to spiritually connect oneself with the needs of a partner. You can understand your partner. Arguments are not part of these days. You can improve any relationships you want to work on. If there are relationships that are marked by violence or problems from the past, you have the opportunity to look for new ways to free yourself from these relationships. The self-confidence that the first 3 months of this year bring to your personal life significantly caresses your soul. They navigate you on the right path in life. After the initial months, which focus Leo's attention on personal relationships, there is a period of calm in this direction. The months of April, May, and also the first part of June are coming, when nothing extraordinary will happen from the point of view of Leo's relationships. The full moon in the 5th house, which takes place around June 4th, means the first big opportunity for Leo to succeed in pregnancy. If you want to become a parent, June is in your favor. For those Leos who wish to become parents, it is necessary to observe the fertile and non-fertile days of the year. And the fertile ones should be used if the moon is in the right position, for example, in the full moon of June. August will also give you the opportunity to fulfill this dream. And that's the days from September 25th to August 10th. At the end of the year, you can even use the entire last 2 months for the desired pregnancy. On the contrary, a Leo who does not want an addition to the family should protect himself more in the mentioned period, forecast adds. From June 17th, the planet Saturn enters a retrograde motion in the 8th house. He remains in this position until November 4th. The mentioned Saturn position warns Leo about a period marked by intimate problems or the exploration of the partner's sexual boundaries. The sexual problems caused by Saturn's position in this period are rooted in the past. If a Leo knows what these unpleasant feelings stem from, it is necessary to turn to an expert to advise the Leo on how to fight the negative past. In this way, for some Leos, Saturn's retrograde movement can result in a separation from a partner, which can subsequently disrupt an overall stable period. Leo focuses on old value systems. It identifies with the past. This year is associated with the color green for Leo, which can evoke a sense of security. This color is also associated with the heart chakra responsible for satisfaction in love and relationships. The heart chakra is also identified with the past, opening up knowledge in the Leo mind. Therefore, it is essential to work with this chakra. Unfortunately, Saturn will cause Leo unpleasant feelings related to intimacy during this period. The disruptive action of Saturn during the month of August will be interrupted by 2 quite favorable astrological aspects. The full moon is formed in the 7th house, which is an excellent position for strengthening partner relationships of Leo. Once again, Leo can get into a position where he understands his partner, when he enjoys his touch and presence. The lunar full moon is formed on August 1st, and thus up to 5 days before this full moon and 10 days after its formation, Leo feels closer emotional contacts with his partner. The lioness fully embraces her role as a mother, and attracts people who give the Leo a sense of security and safety. This beautiful and very powerful full moon in Leo is an excellent position for negatively vibrating Saturn. Therefore, the end of July and the beginning of August is a happy period from the point of view of Leo love. From August to October, Mars moves through the 3rd house. Leo is prompt in communication. He can assert his opinions, even in his own household. An active, sometimes even aggressive intellect can now be used by Leo to anchor the relationship with a partner. Leo may succumb to a hasty way of acting and making decisions. Therefore, your relationship can move faster than before. Forecast Leo, however, warns you to think about every big life decision that comes with this year. Although this Mars is well placed, it can compromise your judgment by wanting things to progress quickly. Because of this hasty decision-making, you may take actions that you would otherwise enjoy more if these things happen more slowly. At the end of this year, the love of Leos is favorable. On November 4th, Saturn ends its vigorous movement. Your interest in intimate connection with your partner is reaching a healthy level again. Venus enters the 3rd house. From November 8th to December 4th, he lives in this house. Such a position of Venus evokes a captivating radiance and very good communication skills. Leo forecast says to use this favorable position of Venus for a social event that you will attend with your partner. Don't be afraid to organize the celebration yourself, dear Leo, and invite all the loved ones you care about. The end of the year is suitable for meeting friends, describes the forecast. Later, Venus moves from the 4th to the 5th house at the end of the year. This will happen on December 29th. Venus will remain in this position until January 2024. Even in this period, the Leo forecast wants to warn. And that before hasty decisions, and before affairs that could only be for one night, but could deeply damage your long-lasting relationship. Therefore, thanks to the power of Mars in the 5th house, Leo should focus on his own strength and energy, but also on real-life values. Thanks to this, you will overcome the negative influence of Venus during the final days of the year. Yearly chart for single Leos of this period this year can mean many opportunities for a single Leo. However, some astrological transits also indicate complications related to Leo's own integrity. And also, with the relationship with the ex-partner. The first 2 months of this year are extremely beneficial for the Leo's soul. Not only do you identify with yourself, you also feel the joy of having a lot of freedom in your life. You look at the people around you and you know how some people express themselves negatively about long-term partner relationships. With Venus in the 7th house giving you tremendous powers of understanding and listening, you recognize that sometimes your life is better alone than in the arms of the wrong partner. Therefore, the astrological positions of the first month do not make you think about the past. Since you can soberly think about the present and plan for the future, your energy is in the right balance. Venus and the other planets that play an important role in your forecast this year focus mainly on travel and long-term goals. For this reason, an unmarried Leo does not focus on sadness or regret from loneliness. On the contrary, you know what is important to you in life now. You will fully concentrate on progress in other areas of life, says the Leo forecast. Relationships are extremely favorable for every single Leo in the first decade of the year. The astrological chart of this year does not indicate any negative vibrations toward singles. This can indicate interesting, new meetings, but also more balance in the life of a single Leo. The love and relationship forecast Leo warns of the coming astrological transit from June 17th to November 4th. Here the annual horoscope again mentions Saturn in retrograde motion. Saturn brings up problems related to the past. You mainly focus on your intimate life and your past mistakes. If you are experiencing a problematic relationship with an ex-partner, it is very likely that this person will appear in your life on the given dates. This will be especially so if you have an unresolved past conflict with this person, or your relationship was mainly sexual. An ex-partner may try to tune you into his wave of activity. He wants to get the most out of your soul. Is this year suitable for returning to an ex-partner? Forecast says no. The love prediction reminds us that if you give this person a part of your energy again, you will reconnect them with your life. All the negative things from the past will gradually emerge, warns the annual love fortune telling for single Leos. Therefore, it will be more appropriate if you leave big decisions regarding past love or any past problems to the month of August. That's when the full moon reaches the 7th house, and the thinking of a single Leo is much more sober. Mars in the 3rd house even lends you enormous amounts of power and sound reasoning. Even though the energy of Mars during August until October lends Leos mild aggression, it is very beneficial. This March position means that you have the strength to fight against all the negative feelings that affect your life. The entire second decade of October is favorable for any Leo who wants to seize opportunities for love. These days, Leo is more focused on family, celebrations, and social events in the circle of those closest to him. And this is exactly the place where you can meet the fateful love at the end of the year. Venus located in the 3rd house from November 8th to December 4th is a position that will transform your thinking into a more positive one. The only disadvantageous position is the placement of Venus in the 5th house from December 29th. Even though it is only a few days of this year, the horoscope also draws attention to these energies, because a single Leo can get involved in a love triangle. The singles forecast of this period warns through the astrological chart that Leo should avoid relationships with married partners. All year. The potential happiness and joy that you may feel at the beginning of this relationship will not be lasting feelings. since June 17th, when Saturn goes into retrograde motion, this position of Saturn will remind you of all the painful feelings that flow from the past. In order for Leo to live the year according to his own ideas and to catch some opportunities to meet, it is advisable to keep his eyes open throughout the year. But mainly in the first half of the year, and after the end of the Leo season, in the second part of the year, from August 23rd. A really huge number of opportunities await the Leo for getting to know that true, fateful love. Last but not least, you may be surprised by the months of November and December, which are perfect for love. You can see a close friend with new eyes, and even a member of your family can introduce you to an interesting person. Therefore, move close to your friends and family members in the last quarter of this year, adds the relationship horoscope for single Leos of this period. Leo chart of family and friendship. Leo relationships in this year do not seem to be complicated. However, there are also disruptive transits that connect Leos with the past and alert this zodiac sign to past issues that have been swept under the rug. The first 5 months of the year pass without major complications related to the home. You are in a position that does not rob you of energy, and the home is your refuge. Your friends are also extremely important to you. No friendship problems occur until the end of May. Friendships can be affected by Mercury located in the 11th house, from June 11th to the 27th of this month. This Mercury brings new friendly meetings and a lot of communication into your life. New contacts can be a source of new mental impulses. You will connect your personal life with new friends. Your thoughts will be heard. Even friends can directly affect Leo's life with their thoughts. It refers to the closest friendships that Leo probably finds with the signs of Sagittarius, Aries, or with the zodiac signs of Libra, Gemini and Aquarius. In this year, the zodiac signs mentioned above form Leo's closest friends. Friendships with these signs are strong, steadfast throughout the year. On the other hand, you can expect complicated relationships from June to September in friendships with the sign of Cancer, Taurus, Capricorn. These 3 zodiac signs represent friends who are not honest with you at all times. You should be very careful with your friendship with Capricorn. If you don't have to, avoid gossiping with this sign. These gossips, which may seem innocent at first glance, can threaten your good reputation in this year. Especially if your friends are also your co-workers. As far as family relationships are concerned, Leo's enormous torment comes from June 17th to November 4th. And that's especially the case with Leos, who have to fight with past family-related problems. These problems can be of different nature. If you are fighting in the family circle about inheritance, joint money, or even you are troubled by memories of the past that hit your heart like a poisoned arrow, this Saturn position will remind you of all these negative feelings. In order to overcome the negative impact from June 17th to November 4th coming from Saturn, it is necessary to work with your heart chakra. It is best to strengthen it with meditation, but you also have to identify with what happened in the past. You have to forgive, try to move on, and forget the things that break your heart to pieces. June 17th and November 4th are moments of this year that can be extremely painful for Leo. And that's in the event that family relationships are in disharmony. Anyway, the month of August will give you many opportunities to fight negative feelings. How to break free. Move forward. Already from August 27th until October 12th, Mars lends you enormous strength to fight with the past, even with negative feelings. In order to survive the effect of Saturn in a negative direction as best as possible, there is no shame in turning to an expert who will guide and treat your psyche in the right way. Until October 12th, Mars gives Leo enormous power to summarize his feelings. To identify with the past. The unpleasant influence of Saturn will end already in October. Specifically, from October 23rd, the power is again in the hands of Leo, and psychological discomfort no longer causes tears and wrinkles on your forehead. Since October 23rd, your ruler the Sun, will fight its way into the 4th house, where it will strongly affect your sign. And with very favorable and beneficial feelings. A Leo identifies with his home. He knows where he feels best and safest. And it is precisely these places that you are looking for until the end of this year. The last 2 months of the year are very strong for the Leo soul to regenerate after a more demanding period. Forecast Leo advises you to plan November and December as months that you will spend near those you love. Your friends are extremely close to you, your family is understanding and supportive. Seek relief from negative feelings in those people you trust and love. If such people are not near you, even an expert in this field will offer you good advice for life. You will then use them for the whole year 2024, which can be really beautiful and harmonious thanks to your contribution and your activity. Therefore, do not be afraid to solve your problems with a professional. This year is here to finally end the fight with your inner self and with the past, adds the Leo annual prediction. Leo forecast for work and money. In the first 3 months, the Sun moves from the 6th to the 9th house. Sun, as the ruling planet of the Leo zodiac sign, focus your energy mainly on the harmonious relationships of each Leo during this period. When it moves into the 9th house in March, there is a moment when Leo's attention is also focused on studying, learning, progressing and learning. The mentioned position of the Sun is extremely beneficial for students born under the sign of Leo, to whom the period from March 20th to April 20th will bring a lot of joy from high-quality and favorable school results. If you have any exams coming up during March, or you are wondering which month will be the luckiest for Leo in terms of studies or academic success, the horoscope provides the answer. It is precisely the month of March due to its favorable positions of the astrological planets. Mercury also moves from the 8th to the 9th house, and has been residing in this house since March 19th. Venus moves from the 9th to the 10th house and is in the 10th house from the 16th of March. This house is responsible for work successes, long-term goals, but also for more male energy of the Leo zodiac sign. Leo is generally considered to be the male sign of the zodiac, and this energy that Venus gives him can further accentuate the male energy of this sign. Venus in the 10th house is a position that gives a Leo a diplomatic demeanor at work. This is good news, especially for those Leos who were troubled by a bad reputation at work, or embarrassments that happened in the past. From March 16th, the astrological aspects are set to completely forget about these things. Leo will also focus on acquiring material wealth or a better job position through a partner, but also through the closest friends. A person with Venus placed in this way generally finds the best working conditions around women. Therefore, in this and next month, he should mainly focus on cooperation with women, in projects or other duties coming from your management. As for Leo entrepreneurs, success and career advancement will occur here as well. Communication with colleagues does not worry you now. Venus only warns that every businessman born under the sign of Leo should now follow the laws and rules. From March until the second part of April, Leo is admired by his surroundings due to his great diligence. You achieve excellent work results. In April, your ruling planet, the Sun, even joins this very favorable position of Venus. However, since April 21st, retrograde Mercury enters the house that affects Leo's work demands and job classification. This, the second Mercury retrograde of this year, thus directly affects the house that influences the Leo's work habits and happiness. However, this phase will affect Mercury more significantly only from May 1st. Mercury is in retrograde motion until May 15th, but is now able to analyze past obligations and results, and assess to what extent they have met Leo's expectations. Thanks to the analytical skills that Mercury retrograde in Leo provides, you can try to improve many things in your life. Retrograde Mercury does not expect Leo to solve things immediately, suddenly. This retrograde movement of the planet Mercury is here for a Leo to think carefully about whether he is on a happy path with regard to his employment. These energies are also not suitable for unemployed Leos, for whom retrograde Mercury does not give much luck in finding a new job. Therefore, from April 21st to May 15th, the energies flowing to Leo's work are disruptive. Every employed Leo feels how his self-expression is affected. Thoughts have a practical impact, and you also think about the future. Therefore, if you are not in a job that makes you happy, you can think about changing jobs right now. An unemployed Leo should work on improving his resume or improving his knowledge during this period. Anyway, these days you approach work responsibly, show your wisdom. You try to sort the knowledge so that it fits exactly how you want to use it. If you are very unhappy in your job, this energy will be fully manifested now. Karma will also appear, which is associated with unfinished past tasks that were important. The period from the end of April to the beginning of May is extremely difficult for Leo, so you will have to compensate for this period with sufficient rest, sleep, and physical movement. The astrological chart also likes Leo to try to identify with the energy of Mars, which comes into your life from May 20th. Mars will focus on the first astrological house. Then Leo wants to make a big change in his life if he is not happy. Forecast Leo describes that this year is therefore a year of great changes in Leo's working conditions. You do not lack self-confidence, but you may underestimate yourself. And this can result in the unemployed choosing the wrong profession, as well as bad decisions. As far as finances are concerned, there are no astrological aspects that interfere with Leo's finances until this period. Money will not be a concern for you, but the annual Leo chart does not predict a large increase in it either. After the end of the second retrograde Mercury, the month of June approaches, which is also not rich in astrological transits affecting finances. In addition, the houses that would be responsible for job advancement are not occupied either. The only warning this month brings is the period around June 4th, when the full moon occurs. The full moon will take place in the sign of Sagittarius, which increases your desire for adventure even more. At these moments, beware of affairs, especially at work, which will significantly damage your future reputation. The horoscope warns that from the beginning of June until its first decade, Leo should really be on the lookout for his own feelings and rash actions. On July 23rd, when the season of Leo begins, with this arrival of the Sun in the first house, Leo also perceives the position of Mercury and Mars in the second house. The second house is responsible for finances. It determines what priorities occur in Leo's vicinity. Mars operates in the house of material affairs and good ideas until August 27th. From July 28th to August 23rd, the planet Mercury is also in common in this house. These two, very powerful astrological energies, coming from the position of Mars and Mercury, say that Leo is now strongly focused on making money. Leo concentrates on the material means that he wants to improve. Leo is now comfortable with perhaps more independent work at work and the harmonious aspects that are part of these transits in this year. They mean a huge competitiveness for Leo. This is how you succeed not only in increasing and improving your family budget, but also in looking for a new job. If in the previous period you realized your dissatisfaction with the job you are working in, it is time to make a change. July and August are also beneficial months for unemployed Leos who desire stable and long-lasting work. Right now, you can discover new possibilities to succeed at work. In addition, the Sun moving from the first to the second astrological house also encourages self-confidence and helps Leo to progress. Your psyche is now very resilient. So, you really reach a position where you anchor your life in a place where you will be happy for a long time. From the point of view of work opportunities and financial improvement of the family budget, the months of July and August are the strongest months for Leo's success in this year. Every Leo who desires a change either at work or to improve the financial budget should follow in these 2 months your intuition. These are the months of new ideas. New direction. Months of fighting with the competition and great success. Communication, which now does not cause wrinkles on Leo's forehead, is also essential. However, your opinions also depend on the opinions of the people around you. And therefore, even if you are working alone on this big change, it is not excluded that your closest person, who is close to you, can give you the right advice on how to finally make a decision. The Sun settled in the second house until October 23rd. Therefore, astrological aspects related to work obligations and financial matters continue. During the summer months of this year, Leo places great emphasis on material security. The Sun, which is also in the second house with other planets, is looking at ways to enrich your life so that the lack of finances does not threaten you. You can make good decisions because your analytical thinking is really strong. And in addition, the astrological chart indicates that your intuition is right now. However, the forecast for the sign Leo strongly recommends writing down the period from August 23rd to September 15th in your calendar. These days can rob you of a large chunk of money if you make a bad decision or are not careful. If you have a vacation coming up, it is clear that during this period you have to watch out for theft or fraud related to finances. The last 2 months of this year are not heavy on bad astrological aspects. On the contrary, once again, the Leo's attention is focused on the family and the closest loved ones. All the astrological aspects that take place in the months of November and December direct Leo's attention to strengthening personal relationships. From this point of view, the annual chart does not predict any interference with Leo's past decisions, which Leo would feel negatively about. The November chart may speak of a greater number of responsibilities for each Leo who has found a new job or changed a job that did not fulfill him. In conclusion, the forecast Leo says that these decisions were correct. Because there are no disturbing astrological aspects that would threaten your energy and enthusiasm for the future at the end of the year. Health forecast for Leo zodiac sign. Leo health fortune telling of this period this year will require Leo to work on his mental resilience. Various responsibilities push into Leo's life and decisions that will require good mental stability. The astrological chart in the second part of the year warns every Leo about weight gain, which can threaten Leo's overall vitality. Since astrological aspects related to comfort are coming, the Leo will not need to spend a lot of time in nature or healthy movement. Anyway, the first decade of the year is here for Leo to start his metabolism and work with his own health. The health in this year is associated with the color green. In terms of color healing, this color and its shades are the ones that help you calm down, meditate, relax. It is very important for the psychological Leo's health throughout this year. This color is associated with the chakra that will be with Leo during this time, perhaps the most endangered. It is the fourth chakra in order, the heart chakra. If the fourth chakra is damaged or blocked, Leo has trouble accepting himself. And it is precisely these feelings that Leo perceives in the first part of this year. And precisely so that the Leo perceives itself correctly, so that your self-confidence is encouraged, it is necessary to keep this chakra in harmony. The heart chakra is also responsible for the ability to receive and give love. To avoid blocking your expressions of love and emotions towards other people, you need to identify with the compassion and kindness that the heart chakra is responsible for. A healthy heart chakra affects overall energy in a positive way. A blocked heart chakra will manifest in this year when your emotions are engulfed in a flood of negative vibrations on some days. Do you ever have trouble understanding others or fully expressing your emotions? This is when your heart chakra is disturbed. An untreated fourth chakra can cause not only psychological problems, but also enormous physical pain. It blocks the proper functioning of the metabolism and the body's defenses. It can lead to spine and lower back pain, as well as breathing difficulties. That is why the health horoscope warns right at the beginning that every Leo should try to keep the chakra in harmony. But how to do it? The main step to moving on is to stop looking negatively at the love around you. Even a single Leo, who hears from all sides about the disadvantages of marriage or a long-term relationship, must no longer view love negatively. In this year, every Leo should perceive the positive vibrations of this energy of love, which is considered the strongest energy. And Leo must also reconcile his mind with the past. Taking care of your emotions is important to maintaining a healthy chakra. Leo's forecast reminds him to practice his mental health more through meditation or through working with himself. Every day you have to find time just for yourself. When you assess the whole day, its negatives and positives. Be aware of how you feel during confrontations. Feel the feelings that make you happy, for example when you are close to your loved ones. You learn to work with all the feelings inside you. Try to get negative feelings under your control. Show the positive ones more, advises the annual prediction, for even better physical health throughout the year. As for physical difficulties, in addition to back pain, lower back pain, or breathing difficulties, there are still other health warnings waiting for the Leo. As the Leo chart for this year mentioned in the introduction, the second decade of the year can enrich Leo with some extra pounds. In particular, August 23rd to September 15th is a period that requires the increased Leo's attention. These days you should try to exercise more, be physically active, go to nature, or force yourself to do something that will not allow you to gain weight. Mercury retrograde occurs in the second house, which is responsible for weight gain. And that's mainly because of the comfort that Leo now feels and doesn't want to overcome. Health in the first half of the year does not speak of any complications, and we will leave the treatment of the heart chakra, which we mentioned in the previous lines. During Leo season from July 23rd to August 23rd, the Sun moves from the first to the second house. It moves from your sign to Virgo. The Sun in the first house creates an extroverted nature, a spontaneous, determined person. It gives you ability and initiative. On August 23rd, the aforementioned Mercury retrograde will occur. This is also why the forecast of this period is joyful, because the whole month before the arrival of Mercury retrograde gives you enough energy to improve your habits and physical health. This month is beneficial for healing, for closing a certain episode and identifying with what you really want. If you've been looking for energy to help you lose weight and improve your physical health, it's Leo season from July 23rd to August 23rd. The end of this year is very beneficial to Leo's feelings. It directs Leo's attention to the family, as well as to beautiful experiences from the past. However, the Leo health prediction strongly warns against driving under the influence of alcohol or other addictive substances. Such behavior can backfire on you not only during the summer months. Whether in your country or a foreign country on vacation and in the final months of this year. Leo's horoscope strongly recommends that he consider all his steps, especially if he is about to make a decision that is dangerous for his physical health, but also for his health others. Avoid any risky activities that could cause you fractures at the end of the year. Physical and psychological problems, or even deeper damage to your physical health, is strongly warned by the fortune telling for this year for the end of the year, specifically for the last quarter of this year. The forecast also reminds us of the necessity of a regular drinking regimen throughout the year. It is the drinking regime that can help stimulate the Leo's metabolism. Dear friends, this was an overview of the year 2023. Listen to predictions for others, and find out more facts about the year and its effects on your friends, family members, and you. Horoscope and divination wish you all the best in this stunning year. According to Chinese astrology, 2023 is the year of Water Rabbit, when good things are coming. Listen to Chinese horoscopes 2023 as well and be ready for this year. Subscribe to our channel for more information from the Zodiac world. Remember to support us by subscription. In the description below, you will find links for all essential horoscopes. Know yourself better with the Horoscope divination site. With free horoscopes and tarot readings. Wish you all the best in 2023.